Let me go on record and say I do not hate this movie, but I do hate slavery movies. With the exception of Django and Birth of a Nation, these are the only two that really caught my eye. I have to be honest, this movie was nothing more than a slave film. In my opinion, it is not Will Smith at his best, and I don't think it touches movies like Pursuit of Happiness, Ali, or King Richard. If I had to categorize this movie in a genre, I would say thriller, war, drama, slavery film. But it's also a faith-based movie. It's not just about him finding freedom, it's about his relentless pursuit of faith and how it helps him gain his freedom. I would argue that this is your typical slave film, but it does try to turn a historical event into an action-packed blockbuster. I will admit it does feel a bit sensationalized, and I understand that the violence that's there, it's there to evoke certain emotions, but there were times where I felt it was a bit excessive, and that's why I think the movie really falls flat. This movie really does pick up in the third act though, and that's when Pete's character joins the Union. I will admit that the accents weren't necessarily that good, and there are some times where you feel he breaks character, but it definitely doesn't take away from his acting ability. Fuqua's directing in the third act was amazing, and there are some parts where I really wasn't that impressed with the CGI visuals. I don't think Fuqua was the problem. I just feel like the writing was a bit weak, and I felt like Will Smith overpowered the role. He doesn't really get lost in the character, and I absolutely understand that. He's not Haitian. I just don't really think as a concept this movie works, because what you're dealing with is an actual historical account. It's just kind of weird that we're turning it into a blockbuster. But overall, decent. It's a decent movie. The beginning for me was very slow, but it turns out pretty solid at the end.